is not coronavirus. This is a very different virus. We know this virus. Hantaviruses have been around for quite a while. There's a lot of detail that we know. I'm going to ask Anais to come in and say this, but I want to be unequivocal here. This is not SARS-CoV-2. This is not the start of a COVID pandemic. This is an outbreak that we see on a ship. There's a confined area. We have 5 confirmed cases so far. We completely understand why these questions are coming, and we are trying to provide all of the information that we can. That's why we're having a press conference here to give accurate information, and we're grateful for all of those who out there who are asking these types of questions. But this is not the same situation we were in 6 years ago. It doesn't spread the same way like coronaviruses do. It's very different. It's that close, intimate contact that we've seen. And most hantaviruses don't transmit between people at all. Most hantaviruses are transmitted from rodents or their feces or their saliva, or droppings, to people.
So the cases has been described in the United States, those who have been camping or hiking in remote areas. And, when you sleep in the field, if you are not very careful or cleaning the environment, you may get in contact involuntarily with these feces or urine from rodents. Now, the virus can be also spread by airborne or droplets. But since the rodents are in the environment, the airborne is very unlikely to happen. Mostly it's because you are in contact with the feces and urine of the virus. Now, this outbreak happened because one person or a couple have been traveling in Argentina, and they contacted, the virus, went to the cruise. They were not symptomatic at all, right? The incubation period can be classically 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and so they get sick. And once you get sick with hantavirus, you have fevers, muscle pain, and in 24 hours, your lungs may collapse with full of fluid. And in the next 24 hours, the patient dies. The mortality is between 30 to 60%. So yes, it's a deadly virus. Now, the transmission in the United States, we have the virus is called sin nombre, which is a Spanish term. It's also called without name, sin nombre, okay? And in the United States, this virus is not transmitted human to human. The only proven transmission human to human has been with the Andean virus from South America, all right? So, and that's what's happening now. It's a human to human transmission. Now, who is gonna get infected? Those who get in close contact with the sick person. Close contact means living in the same close environment, kissing, exchange of fluids. So it has to be really, really close contact. Now, the transmission can also be airborne, right, or droplets, like other viruses. But those transmissions are not really that effective, like COVID or influenza or the flu or other cold viruses. Now, some people may have mild disease, sure. So not everybody, will be very, very sick. But the risk for pandemia is pretty much almost zero. There is no way, this virus, the transmission is very different. Even though in theory is airborne or droplet, it's not like measles. It's not like the flu. No, it's mostly by contact. It's the most common, route of transmission, and but we are learning from this outbreak, the real, transmission, because so far there has been, I believe, 5 to 7 cases of hantavirus, and not many more. So in about 2 to 3 weeks, we will know exactly, the number of cases infected.
So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is will get attention this time.
If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord Yahweh thy power, then the Lord Yahweh will make thy plague wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance and soreness, sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 58 to 62. Shabbat Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Baruch HaKodesh. Double honors to our venerable apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone on down who rule well. And peace and blessings to the Lord's elect to the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with a quick lesson and an update in regards to these this so-called outbreak, Hunter outbreak, so to speak. And of course, we, the prophets of the Lord, through the Spirit of power, Yahweh Basham Yahushua, we've been warning, okay, pertaining to Ezekiel 3:17. The Lord said to give them warning from me, okay? And we warned, all right, let's get that real quick in the book of Jeremiah. Let's get that real quick. All right, when we warned, we're not just warning of, all right, the things that people are normally accustomed to, all right, accustomed to hearing, but we also gave you in-depth information, breakdowns, all right, decoding cryptic information like the cover of the 2026 Economist magazine. And the title was, I believe it was The World Ahead, if I'm not mistaken, right? The World Ahead, all right? But before we go into that, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Okay? Of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's exactly what the prophets of the Lord came back here this time to do. We're preaching about good tidings. We're giving you any, oh, America's going to be great. We're backing up the bullshit that the Trump administration have been telling and spewing. All right. We came out here, we dropped the hammer on your ass. Straight up. This is what it is. This is the word of the Lord. And this is exactly what's going to happen here to America, Babylon the Great, and its inhabitants. And it doesn't start and end here. It starts here and it permeates throughout the whole entire world. But the place that it started is where the destruction takes place, which is America, Babylon the Great. Of course, Israel's going to get touched, completely destroyed, annihilated. But America is going to be done away with completely. All right. And so go back to, all right, the topic, right? The Economist magazine, 2026, A World Ahead. And on that cover, we did a whole lesson on that. All right. On that cover, of course, they had syringes. All right. They had a prediction, not even a prediction anymore. It's more of a blueprint. All right, these things are no longer predictions. What you see in the movies, like they showed in X-Files, right? They literally specifically mentioned hantavirus, okay, and how it's going to wipe out a bunch of people, and so on and so forth. So it's called predictive programming. They put it in your face via the media, and if you do nothing about it, you just consume it as entertainment, all right? Because that's what it's packaged as. So you can consume it as such. What happens? Then they have immunity, because then they can say, well, we showed you, we showed you in the movies, and you allowed it. You took it as entertainment. That's your problem, right? The revelation of the method. So they've pretty much telegraphed their moves over the years, right? And, you know, at some point, it's going to happen in real life. I mean, these devils don't go around here investing billions and trillions of dollars into things that nobody's really thinking about, all right, later down the line. And then those things that they're investing in just happen to be coincidentally, it just happened to be that, oh, this is what y'all niggas was planning this whole time. Oh, so there's a tick infestation out of nowhere, and then these niggas Pfizer say, oh, we coming out with a Lyme's disease vaccine out of nowhere. Like, okay, why is this? Oh shit, mysteriously there's some type of tick outbreak going on. Well, very convenient that you already have a vaccine for that, right? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to see. You had one of the ladies from the Who Dat try to trying to tell people, oh, this is not like COVID. This is not an outbreak like COVID. This is completely different. It's entirely different. Blah, 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 whatever bullshit. Yeah. We know the blueprint. You ran the same shit back in 2020. Oh, it went from, we're just bending the curve 2 weeks to next thing you knew, it was 2 years. And then it went from, oh, you don't need to wear a mask. So now you have to wear a mask and stand 6 feet apart. And then it went to, oh, the mask is just a precautionary thing. It's really not a big deal. You shouldn't really be around your family and your friends. You should stay away from each other. No clusters, there's cases and blah, 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 blah. And then it turned from that to, oh, we're not going to be mandating no Vanessa. Next thing you know, the Vanessa came. They said, oh, first responders only. And that's the only people, the most important people. No, that was just a step. It's always a step, one step at a time, incremental steps at a time, gradually get you to that stage, gradually indoctrinate you, get you comfortable with the new ways of the new normal and so on and so forth. New policy swing by and this and that. Very soon, I will say this, I've said this before, very soon, in the next coming weeks, it will make sense why DJ Trump signed over 100 and something executive orders in his first 100 days in office. It will make all the sense in the world. Everything that this thing was signing, executive order, it's all going to make sense because in a state of emergency, which I believe he declared a national emergency was a couple of weeks ago. I forget exactly what the reason was, right? Things are happening, so many things happening nowadays, you can't even keep up. But it's like you do a lesson today, and then by tomorrow, some way new shit happens where you completely forgot that you even talked about something the day before. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But anyway, let's jump into this article here. It says here, deadly virus samples, including hantavirus, went missing from lab in major biosecurity breach in 2023. All right. And here we go again with these labs. And people are so privy to this shit now. It's like a running meme, right? People just be joking around with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always these experts, it's always these niggas, these scientists and shit. Right? Fucking around with things in the lab, and then it just, boom, it gets in the hands of a nigga like Bill Gates, and then all of a sudden, the whole world about to die. It says, according to a report from Fox News, authorities in Queensland, Australia, have revealed that hundreds of vials containing highly dangerous viruses disappeared from a public health laboratory more than 3 years ago, prompting an urgent investigation into what officials are calling a serious lapse in safety protocols. Why is this now coming out? 3 years later, why is this now coming out, man? And the one thing I don't understand, which I do understand, but I don't understand at the same time, which is all these so-called, and it's been happening a lot lately. At least I've noticed it over the past 5 years, but really the past 2 years, I'll say, it's been happening a lot lately, which is a lot of recalls, okay, when it comes to food and things that you would think they would take multiple steps to make sure that it's good to go before it reaches the public. Those steps are not being taken. And what I'm starting to see a lot more of is recalls, right? Oh, the FDA is recalling, food that was packaged, blah, 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 and for contamination or something. Or there's, what they call it, E. coli, and spinach. So spinach has been recalled, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot, okay? And it makes you wonder, what are the consequences for the FDA and the USDA and all these different so-called regulatory bodies that are failing to do their jobs? What is the consequences for them? We can't constantly keep going on with this bullshit of something passes through the market, it gets to the market, it's consumed by the public, and then there's after the fact, there's a recall, and then that's it, that's the end of it. Whether people return it or not, nobody follows up with it, nothing happens, no one is being brought to task on how do you have a nigga that used to work for Pfizer mysteriously leaves the board of Pfizer, ends up with the FDA, which is going to be the same people that are supposed to regulate the things that Pfizer will be passing years down the line, right? But maybe it wouldn't be applicable to humans. It might not be good for human consumption. So under normal circumstances, that product from Pfizer will not pass to get to the public. So what happens is one person from the Pfizer board or multiple people from Pfizer board would end up stepping down or retiring or venturing into a new field. And of course, they have connections with different people, the FDA, and so they end up getting a position, high position, in the FDA, the same regulatory body that will pass for something for Pfizer to get into the public stream. So this nigga from the board of Pfizer mysteriously leaves Pfizer, goes to the FDA, gets a job with the FDA, and then now the same FDA that's going to be passing things for Pfizer, now he's there. So now he gets to go through the process and say, okay, under normal circumstances, this product cannot get to the market. It's not safe for consumption. We can't allow this to hit the public. Blah, 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 blah. But now we got this nigga from Pfizer now with the FDA, so he's going to pass it. And then next thing you know, later on, oh, there's a recall because you got the same bullshit going on. It's the same people causing the problems. Then they pose to give you a fucking solution that will never benefit you in the first place, because number one, that's not even the thing you were even thinking about. Like, why would I even think about this to be the only solution when I wasn't even thinking this was even a problem? Who came up with this problem in the first place? See, and it's going for everything, man. Nowadays, you might be driving on the highway. They got drones tracking your speed. It's just tacky little shit to get money out of people. And the more Americans just sit there, because they're stupid as fuck, they just sit there and let shit happen, the worse it gets. The worse it's going to keep getting worse. You would like to think that 2020 was an example for people to wake their ass up, right? But no. 2026 is going to be a repeat, or if not worse than 2020 when the lockdown started. Why? Because people are dumber than they were back in 2020. Trust and believe that. We've seen it over the past 5-6 years. You've seen the sharp decline in mental faculty. All right, the mental capacity of people in America has declined sharply. Everybody's complaining about that shit. Okay, they have literally quite literally created a bunch of useless eaters, annoying ass pieces of shit that need to get burnt up and cooked up out of here, man. That's the state of America. Ain't nobody doing nothing productive anymore. You see what's going on, the themes and the memes and the trends. It's all nothing but bullshit and stupidity, folly. As is written, folly is saying great dignity. Okay, Trump comes in, and there's a whole bunch of confusion everywhere. He makes promises. He falters at those promises. The American people eat it up because they're stupid. They eat it up. They believe it. They want to believe it. They want to believe it so badly. And he gives you something to believe. Everything but the truth. And you niggas fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's time to pay. All right? Your foolishness and your stupidity is going to pay. And you know what? The worst part too is, right? The worst part is these niggas still going to believe in these experts. After everything that you went through over the past 5 years, you niggas are still going to believe in these whole ass experts. Majority of them, which is on trial right now. Look at Fauci, look at Gates. They're looking for these niggas in different parts of the world for causing a crime against humanity. But yet Americans are going to sit here and allow for the WHO and the CDC to tell them what to do and how to live their lives. The government is going to tell you what to do and how to live your lives. And this is all going to lead into biotech. Who's going to benefit from this? Cui bono? All these biotech companies. Okay? All these public-private partnership bullshit. This is the takeover of America. It's about to happen. It's about to happen through health, through the health crisis, through the fuel, energy shortages, all at the same time. This is how the takeover begins. All right? So let's read. It says here, there you go. The missing samples totaling 323 vials, right? Very interesting numbers, right? Because this whole thing started May 6th. And we were saying it, that this year is 2026. They're not going to let that opportunity pass by. 250 years, they're going to do, this is where they, look, remember the Economist magazine cover, America's 250th year, there's a hand coming out of the cake, right? And the hand has looks like a handcuff around it. And he's making the fist sign. Okay, I interpret it as this is the lockdown of the Americans and their freedoms, so-called freedoms. Oh, it's just ironic, right? 250th year, oh, America's independence, oh, and then boom, bring your ass right to slavery. Okay, so it says they were discovered. Slack the missing samples totaling 323 vials include multiple strains of Hendra virus, Lyssa virus, and hantavirus. They were discovered to be unaccounted for at Queensland Public Health Virology Laboratory in August 2023. The lab conducts critical diagnostic services, surveillance, and research on viruses and other medical significant pathogens. Okay? They've been trying this shit the past few years. They've had monkeypox, right? They've been doing this shit with animals, man. Oh, there's a bunch of monkeys that got free. I believe it was in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago. And then another one in PA. There's this lady that was driving on the highway or some shit. There was a truck that had monkeys, you know, highly contagious monkeys that were, you know, rhesus monkeys or macaque monkeys, whatever monkeys they had in there. And them niggas was in some crates, and the crate broke, and them niggas ran out, and they were chasing them and shit. It was just some funny shit, okay? But they've been trying this. They said people don't come around them. Dabu was reporting on it. Like, yo, if you see this shit, it's kill on sight. Don't let them niggas get around you, because they carry you some shit, you know? And all these things come from labs, man. The labs, these universities, these military labs, the shit that they got underground, you don't want to know. When the scripture says they do a diligent search, all right, the inward thought is deep. It's deep. It's deep. When you go real deep into anywhere, it gets real dark. All right, that's just what it is. Light don't get that far deep, bro. Unless you bring in the light in there. When you go into the deepest part of the ocean, what happens? The deep parts of the ocean, ain't no light there. It's all black. It's all pitch black. So dark that even the creatures that are down there, the Lord created them to have their own light. They're bioluminescent. All right, so they could see, because there ain't no light down there. That's pretty much the description. The inward thought is deep. Like, it's so deep and dark. Ain't no light there, man. Okay? And the kind of things, the chimeras and the humanoid robots and the humanoid mixed with pig, mixed with goat, all kinds of different. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? These niggas is creating shit underground. You don't want to know. All right, they testing this DNA with that DNA, combining this genes with that gene. How the fuck do you think they came up with the Vanessa? They got all kinds of different strands of DNA and that shit. They got swine DNA. They got freaking cockroach DNA. They got rat DNA. I'm like, what the fuck? They got all this shit in there? You know? So people walking around with half, you know, monkey DNA. They got freaking frog DNA. They got octopus DNA. You be like, why they got all this shit in the DNA in the Vanessa to begin with? Their inward thought is deep. All right, they're wicked as hell, man. Only a devil will come up with some shit like that. Look at Bill Gates. All right, this thing is still walking around here, and hey, it is what it is. The Lord is the one who's reserving these devils, man. All right, they're necessary. All right, Esau is a necessary evil in order for the Lord to bring in the prophecies that He's promised to come. Esau is that necessary evil. All right, you don't get that goodness unless you see that tribulation, the trials, the troubles. This devil is the one who's been ordained to bring in that trouble. Revelation, the 6th chapter, tells you that we're going to get that. All right. So it says here, Queensland Health has now launched a formal Part 9 investigation into the incident. Health Minister Timothy Nichols described the event as a major historical breach of biosecurity protocols, and stressed the need for accountability. Well, who's being held accountable, though? Huh? Once again, who's being held accountable? There is no such thing. There is no such thing as checks and balances. Why? Because all these corporations that stand to benefit from the death and the sicknesses and the destruction of people's lives are the same people who are in charge of making sure that these things actually happen. Okay? Or don't happen. Either or. Because they're the so-called experts and the scientists. When you have a situation where you have your so-called experts being baffled, there's a problem. That's an oxymoron. You're an expert, so you know you're not the ones to be baffled by things that happens in your field. But once they start happening in your field, ain't no listen, there's no more guarantee that we're on the right path anymore. When you have experts being baffled, nigga, you're an expert. What is an expert? Let's look it up. These devils tired of this shit, man. Right? An expert. Having had experience, skillful, right? You're experienced, you're practiced, you're skilled, you're tried, you're proven, known by experience. Okay? You've been tried out, you've been tested, right? A person wise through experience. Okay? Right here. A person who by virtue or special by virtue of special acquired knowledge or experience on a subject. Okay? Presumably not within the knowledge of men generally. So you are endowed with more information than the average person would. That's why you're known as an expert, right? You can only testify on facts. You are an expert because you study this shit. You know how these things work. So once you start getting baffled, once you start seeing headlines saying experts baffled by whatever, that's a problem. That's a huge red flag. If the experts who are the pros at this topic are baffled by it, ain't no more wise men in teaming. I'm sorry, but it's over with. All right, it's over with. Your wise men are being confounded. What the fuck? It's over with, man. That's why you see what you see now. You're about to see even worse. Okay, so there will be no accountability. Forget about it. Accountability only happens from the people themselves, the citizens. They gotta hold these so-called leaders accountable. If you expecting these niggas to hold themselves accountable, look at the whole Epstein shit. They'll fuck around and tell you, oh, there's nothing to see here, because there is nothing to see here. Right? You niggas ain't doing the investigation. You're leaving it up to a whole bunch of corrupt people to do a pure investigation. Are you out your mind? You better release the Epstein files. You said you were going to release the Epstein files. What about the Epstein files? What are we going to do with the Epstein files? What the fuck are you going to do about the Epstein files? They presented it to you so you people could do something about it. No, it's too much. It's too much work. It's too much thought. I can't think about these things. My life is too hard. I can barely make a job. I can barely get a job. I've applied to 500 jobs all year. I'm not getting shit. It's all done by design. And you keep falling for the same bullshit. Oh, it's the Democrats that's doing it. Oh, it's the Republicans. The seafood. I voted for this. And Trump does the same thing. They're asking me, oh, the economy is not looking too good. The Americans are waiting for that $2,000 check you promised. What happened? Well, you see, look, we got to go back to this. The country's in a better place right now because imagine if Biden was supposed to be president right now. I mean, things would be so much worse. I mean, like let's be real here. I mean, I've done great. I'm investing $18 trillion into this company. No, bitch, you investing 18, however much you're talking about, into these companies, these private companies, these corporations, and they're here to milk the last resources that's left here in America. And those last resources are going to be who? The people, human resources. All right. So let's keep going. It says here, quote, with such a serious breach of biosecurity protocols and infectious virus samples potentially missing, Queensland Health must investigate what occurred and how to prevent it from happening again, Nichols said in an official statement. You niggas, bro, you all need to get cooked for just even allowing this type of shit to happen. It shouldn't go unscathed, man. These niggas should not go unscathed, bro. I think, in a perfect world, if you're an official and you swear an oath to do what you're supposed to be doing and you fail, you ought to be put to sleep off top. All right? There is no room for those kinds of mistakes, man. You put millions of people at risk when you move like that just because of your negligence, right? So these niggas, they don't deserve to be, let's arrest and then do an investigation. Then we'll put them in a different position. Like, nah, bro, you need to make an example of, man. You devils need to be made examples of, man. Simple. If niggas like Gil Bates was being lit up, put a tire, like you know how they do in the Haitian countries, like the West Indian countries, right? They put a tire around your neck, and strip your butt ass naked, beat your ass with sticks and stones, and then right when you about to croak, they put a big ass fucking 18-wheeler tire right around your neck, light that bitch up with some kerosene, and then boom, watch your ass just get cooked in front of everyone, man. That's what needs to happen to these devils. All right, that's what needs to happen to these devils, man. All right, but the Lord said, no, just wait. This is their kingdom. You can't do that to them. You gotta wait till we get to our kingdom. So continue, it says here, Hendra, it says that the viruses involved carry significant risks. Hendra virus is a zoonotic pathogen found only in Australia that can jump from animals to humans, right? Because they don't mess with the labs. They doing things in the labs, right? What was his name? Dr. Redfield. This years ago, he talked about the BF, bird flu, and he said that was going to be the next thing they're going to use, and they were messing with it, saying that this thing could, transmit from animal to people, but normally it doesn't go like that. It's a bird flu. It goes from animal to animal, bird to bird. But this shit could jump from bird to human if we do some type of genetic shit in the lab. I said, why the fuck would you want to do that? And then quickly realized, oh yeah, that's right. They do have an agenda to depopulate. That makes sense. Famines, pestilences, wars. 3 things that would definitely depopulate anywhere, right? The Lord said that in Deuteronomy 28, we read that. He's going to bring the plagues to make our numbers small. So he was talking through Moses to the children of Israel back then, but that also applies to everybody else upon the face of the earth. Why? Because these, especially here in America, they take the Bible as their book, right? They've taken the words of Heavenly Father, but then they don't do anything in it. So the plagues are going to fall on this place, just like the Lord said will happen to us. Okay? So get ready. There's more to come. It says here, hantavirus can cause severe illness and death in people, while lysovirus is closely related to rabies, which is nearly always fatal without prompt treatment. And these, again, biotech companies are going to be sitting ready with their treatments. Okay? It's all problem, reaction, solution. All right? Officials have emphasized that there is no evidence the samples were stolen or that they pose any immediate risk to the public. Virus material degrades quickly outside controlled freezer conditions, making accidental environmental release highly unlikely to cause infection. We don't believe that because you niggas was not supposed to release it in the first place. So if it's been released, then there is no trusting anything these so-called health officials or scientists gonna have to say. There's nothing you niggas gonna say that people should listen to, man. And of course, they could use that as oh, well, they didn't listen, that's why it got worse. Fuck out of here, man. How did it get here in the first place? Because people didn't listen to y'all? No, you put it out there, all right? You set the shit up, and then you show people stupid ass shit. You show people this years in advance through movies and shows. Contagion is one of them, right? The X-Files. The X-Files is like, man, listen. Disease X, the X-Files, right? So let's keep going. It says, Chief Health Officer Dr. John Gerard noted that there have been no recent human cases of Hendra or lysovirus in Queensland and no confirmed hantavirus infections in Australia's history. Proactive steps already taken include staff retraining, and laboratory audits. Expert Sam Scarpino, PhD Director of AI and Life Sciences in Northeastern University, called the episode a critical biosecurity lapse. Fuck you mean episode, nigga? When we watching the show out here? Episode. Niggas here, man. Right? Again, it go to show that all these things, everything is a stage. Alright? They show you these things, like I said, episodes, man. The stages. The first 3 months or 4 months, well, it really started in February, so if you look at it, 3 months, right, was war. The next 3 months is going to be another phase of the war, which is going to be, health, biological, okay? And then you couple what happened in the first part of the year, it plays out in the third part and the fourth part of the year, where the energy shit that was caused in the beginning of the year, you start to feel that in the middle to the ending of the year. And then you couple that with the virus that sprung up in the second part of the year. Now you're like, damn, by the third and fourth part of the year, you're coupling energy crisis, you're coupling biohazard / biological health threats. Okay? 2 things. Famine, pestilences. 2 things. You got wars too. But famines and pestilences, those 2 things right there, damage. And like I said before, earlier in the year, we did a lesson going into it, how they plan to at least eradicate 5 billion people right now off the face of the earth by the end of this year. By the end of 2026, going into 2027, they need at least 5 billion people off, just like that. You out of here. What better way to send them on their way than to release a nice little, what they call hantavirus? And as the days go by, there's going to be more information coming out. The fear mongering. Oh, this thing is 100% mortality rate. This is a tester right now. And they're going to be changing shit as the people react to it. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be changing as the people react to it. And let's not forget how convenient. This year, they're holding that World Cup shit. So it's very interesting that in May, they're starting this shit because the World Cup, I believe, it starts in June or July? Let's look it up. '26 FIFA World Cup. July 11th. Okay, July 11th to July 19th. Okay, so, oh, damn, that's only, oh, shit, I didn't know that. That was interesting. That's it? July 11th to July 19th? I thought it was like a whole month thing. I didn't know it was just like that short time. Okay, cool. Let me see something here. So July 11th, which is a Saturday, to July 19th, which is a Sunday. So pretty much like a week and a day, right? So the middle of the beginning, second week of July. So right after July 4th, so literally a week after. So July 4th is the 4th, which would be Saturday. So the following week, which would be the 11th, right? 11 destruction. That's going to be the beginning of the World Cup. Okay. So it's very interesting. All right. And now we're in what, May? Today's May 8th as I'm doing this video right now. Okay. So, yeah, it's very interesting that you got the World Cup situation going on this year. And then, of course, you have this coming on. Very, 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 very interesting. Nice way to bring in some new technology, contact tracing, and all kinds of stuff that they're going to be doing. So we're going to be seeing energy rationing, all that stuff. It was all in the magazine cover. We covered that. We did an extensive video on specifically on that, decoding that cover. All right, so let's keep reading. It says here, given the limited ability for any of these pathogens to transmit from person to person, the risk of an epidemic is very low, Scarpino told Fox News Digital. He also highlighted the high fatality potential of agents and the broader need for stronger oversight in pathogen handling worldwide. The investigation continues to examine policies, compliance, and staff conduct to ensure such an incident does not occur or recur. Okay, but we know, all right, knowing these devils, there ain't no such thing as, oh, we're doing everything in our power to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. No. You cannot be trusted. Like I said, all these experts need to be grabbed up, and let's just leave that alone. We're gonna leave that alone. All right, but we know what needs to be done to them. Okay, we know what needs to be done to them. All right, but I want to get this real quick, and then we're gonna close it out because we're seeing the plagues now. All right, the Lord is unleashing. All right, the plagues, the scourges meant for amendment. All right, there's a book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, "And there went out another horse that was red." All right, now red represents that power known as Esau Edom. Okay, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, so these devils just came in, all right, to do everything but bring peace. Okay, because the Lord said they were given power and authority to take peace from the earth. How they going to do that? They got disease warfare, biological warfare, psychological warfare, actual physical warfare. Okay, they got silent wars for quiet, silent weapons for quiet wars, right? Diseases, all these things are part of it. All right, all these things are part of it. It's very interesting because, was it a few weeks ago? I remember prior to COVID, prior to CB, I'm gonna just say like that. And this was back in 2019. I did research on global population, and I remember the number one population was over 1 billion people. I think it was almost 2 billion, if I'm not mistaken, if not more. All right, 1 billion, because I think they had a 1 million man army or 1 billion man army. I think that was China. It was some ridiculous shit. I was like, damn, that's a lot of people. Like 1 billion in an army? That's OD. Let me see if I still up there. Let me see. 1 billion. Army. No, it's not a robot army. It's something else. But they had, prior to 2020, I looked it up, and the population for China was like 2 billion or some shit. It was a lot of people. I was like, damn, that's a lot. And then followed by India, which was like 1 billion or some shit. And I said, yo, if they was to come out with some type of, because they were going into depopulation, we're going to the Georgia Guidestones and all that. And I said, well, they got to depopulate. They go hit China first, followed by India, and then they go from there. That's exactly what they did. So yesterday, came across some information that over the past 5 years or so, there's been over 600 million people that have been out of there. They've been unalived in China alone. Because I'm gonna say about 3 weeks ago to a month, I looked up the Chinese population, and it was 1 point something billion, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not bugging, like, because you try to look it up, all that information that we used to look up back in before 2020, all them pages are gone. So it's like, I know I'm not bugging. I know I'm not bugging. Like, I know I seen some information some time ago about the population of China, and it was 2 billion, if not more. And then I looked again a few months ago, and it's almost like they set it up where it's almost like there was no record, like it never happened. Like, maybe it's just in your head that there was a time when there were 2 billion people, but nah, based on the information we have now, it's like 1 point something. They've never reached 2 billion before. I'm like, wait a minute. I know I'm not tripping, bruh. Y'all not about to play this shit with me. I know I'm not tripping. I know what I saw. And then the next one was India with 1.7 billion people. So right now, they say over 600 million people have been eliminated over the past 5 years in China alone. It makes sense. And you have people in China who are doing videos saying, yo, there's entire cities that's quiet, it's dead. They said, yo, this shit was like filled with like 10 million people. That's the population, at least on record. But when you get there, it's a ghost town. The stores are closing down because ain't nobody buying. The trays are empty. Nobody's on the train. It's like, where's everyone? And people are like, yo, I mean, did they go on vacation? Did they go back to their homeland? They were like, what's going on? Like, what's happening here? People are just disappeared by the millions. So it's very interesting. So if that's something that's going to be happening here very soon in America, then brace yourselves, man. Because America don't got 1 billion people. Okay? They don't got 1 billion people. But it's about to get real crazy real soon here in America. You might think, oh, they learned their lesson. No. They learned shit. And it's going to be evident very soon. Okay? It's going to be very evident very, very soon. All right? So finishing off in Revelation 6:4, it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, that great sword, what is a sword made for? It's made to cause a sore slaughter, as it tells you in the book of Ezekiel. So we are in that time, man. All right, we are in that time when this devil is about to start making his move. All right, they've been making their move, but now it's about to be out in the open. And they're going to use DJT here in America to push a lot of these things. Okay, you're going to see the cruelty. Okay, let's bring that out, and we're going to close it out. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Okay, so remember what Joseph did to Egypt during the time of the famine, right? Where the Egyptians had to pledge an oath they pledged themselves to Egypt as servants for some food. That's what America is about to start doing soon. Okay, you're going to have to pledge yourself to the system for a little bit of food. That's how bad shit is about to be. It's not going to be any food that's beneficial to you. It's going to be Bill Gates lab-grown meat. All right, because you are allergic to the Most High has created beef and steak and all that. Like, who don't want to eat no steak, man? Summer's coming. You don't want to eat no steaks, man? No barbecue? None of that? Yeah. It's looking slow for you niggas this year. That shit. All right. So, yeah, man, we're going to keep an eye out on this so-called Hunter virus outbreak, right? We're going to see how the Lord's going to play things out. Which, like I always say, if Yahweh Shem Yahushua is with you, ain't nothing or nobody that's going to be against you. And that's just what it is. All right, so we just going to sit back and watch the Lord do his thing. This ain't coming for us. This is not a plague that's coming for the righteous. Nah. We've been warning about this plague that's coming. The Lord is bringing this plague to wipe out all you wicked ass niggas, man. All right, you non-believers, you holier than thou Christians out there, you wicked ass niggas out there, you maggots, you MAGA supporters, I'm a political ass nigga out there. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican ass nigga. This is all coming for you niggas. All right? You play in that game, you win games, you win prizes in that game, nigga. It's coming for you. All right? This is coming for you. The same Trump that you supported so wholeheartedly, you worship this nigga. You got Trump stickers everywhere in your house, right? You got niggas in a barbershop and they got a towel, they got Trump face on it. Lifting up his fist, talking about fight, with blood coming out his lips and shit. Y'all niggas got me fucked up, boy. All right? A lot of stupid shit going on. The Lord is about to bring that correction, the rod of correction, okay? And it comes with elimination of all these useless eaters, man, okay? That time is coming, all right? The time is coming. The great culling is here, all right? So anyway, I'm ending off there. Lowell, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Ruach HaKodesh, the Wadi Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.